Hey class, it's Shannon Wonko here. This is my Module 2 post. So throughout the readings, there were 13 major student affairs statements that were discussed, but three stood out to me most. The three statements that stood out were really similar. They talked about the same different principles, and they were actually considered one statement because they were so similar. But the first one is the student personnel point of view statement in 1937. So, in the statement, different factors contributed to needing professionals who oversaw out of classroom student activities. During this time, faculty was following German research universities and they were more concerned with research instead of the well being of their students, and universities were becoming more diverse. Another factor to the need for student affairs professionals was that women were starting to attend colleges, and there was just need for more supervision to please the parents. That their children's welfare was being addressed. Another reason there was a need for professionals was that the world of work was changing, and the purpose of higher education was not just for studying the ministry, and professionals needed to help students with determining a career and finding a job for after graduation. During the Great Depression, counseling and vocational guidance was needed, and the responsibilities of student affairs professionals became more complex. During this time, professionals joined together and talked about their roles to learn more from one another, and the need to clarify the role of student professional workers was recognized. So in 1937, the American Council of Education convened a group of leading scholars, including Esther Lloyd Jones, W.H. Cowley, C. Gilbert Wren, D.J. Patterson, and others to develop a statement to guide the work of student affairs professionals. The next statement was the SSPV statement of 1949. This was a time when higher education was greatly affected by World War II, and during that time there was an emphasis on science and technology since the atomic bomb was created. As a result of these changes in politics and philosophy, there was an influx of veterans attending colleges. So in 1944, the GI Bill was passed to allow veterans to have the opportunity to attend college, which led to a more diverse student population at universities and colleges across the nation. And in 1947, Harry Truman released a report that discussed the role of higher education a little more in detail. So the SSPV statement of 1949 focused more on the structure and administration of student personnel services. And the main concern was what services were to be provided and how the Student Affairs Division was going to be organized. So the role of student affairs in informing instruction and collaborating with faculty was much less evident in the 1949 statement. And then the authors of the 1949 statement went a step further compared to the 1937 in stressing the importance of recognizing individual differences in students and stressing that students are agents in their own development and should be included in decision making. Then in 1954, Esther Lloyd Jones and Margaret Smith published a book encouraging the student affairs profession to return to their roots as educators to facilitate the development of students. Similar to the 1937 SPPV, they stress the importance of collaboration with faculty to achieve a strong campus community in which learning could take place. Although the field's knowledge base has increased and the language used to describe its missions may have changed, its overarching goals remain constant and provide a clear and critical direction as higher education enters the new century. So I would say the most similar thing throughout the different documents is definitely the language used and the overall themes. So the themes that emerge from the documents reviewed above include a holistic perspective, attention to individual differences, student agency, intentionality, empirical grounded initiatives, a role in instruction and learning, collaboration, functional focus, education for citizenship, and accountability. The most important concept found in all the statements we reviewed is the notion that the whole student must be considered in every educational endeavor. This is so important because even today, universities and colleges will say that you're more than a number. We care about each and every student, and that's the way it should be. As an academic advisor, I see how important this is. What I would do today, and changing the documents is just focus more on offering support to our undocumented students, since the number has grown so much, and those students are the ones who desperately need support and guidance. And I think that it falls under the umbrella of student affairs professionals. I also think that student affairs professionals should focus on each individual student, that we saw a common theme throughout the documents.